Asking you every
hostages. Story about David and Goliath, how this little skinny guy that was underestimated kicked the giant's butt. Good morning, y'all. Welcome to an installment of Traffic Tales.
These are freaky tales. These are tales that I tell so well.
I've been wanting to tell this story for a long time. I guess I didn't want to be judged without people knowing me and knowing how I work, what type of person I am. I was kind of reluctant to do it. It's a story about somebody getting bullied. It's a story about fighting. Disclaimer here. I do not condone violence, fighting, or solving life's problems with violence anymore.
Kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya.
I was a sophomore in high school. I'm from LA, but my parents moved me up to Oakland in a city called Concord, and I was thrown into a high school where I knew nobody. It was a culture shock because LA was a lot different than the suburban neighborhood that I grew up in. I was one of the shortest guys in school.
What you talking about, Willis?
I was also a skinny guy at that. And people didn't know what the heck I was. I looked Mexican, but I had curly hair. I hung out with all different types of people. You know, in high school, back in the 90s, like Mexicans over here, whites over here, blacks over here. It's like, it was all segregated. Me, I'm black and Filipino. If you didn't know. Yeah, news break, I'm not Mexican. I just grew up in a Mexican neighborhood, yo. And this is the time I'm on the wrestling team. Then, that's what defined me. I was a wrestler. I wasn't a gangster.
Carlos.
I was a wrestler. I was an athlete. Back in the 90s, it was cool to be gangster. Everybody wanted to be gangster. Everybody wanted to be Dr. Dre. Everybody wanted to be Snoop. Everybody wanted to be Tupac. Everybody wanted to throw up that West Side. Everybody wanted to be Ice Cube. That's just how it was. So everybody was all clicked up and stuff. But when I went to my school, there was a clique that had like a lot of the Asians just to kick it together. For some reason, they didn't like me. They found out that I was Filipino and I didn't roll with them. So that was bad juju. Like, you're Filipino, you don't roll with the Filipinos. I roll with whoever I want to roll. Even today, all my homies are all mixed. White guys, black guys, Mexican guys, half Japanese. My kids are black, Filipino, Mexican, Italian. So tell me what clique they're supposed to roll with. You feel me? There was this guy, we'll call him
Dumbass.
And this
Dumbass
was a little wannabe gangster and thought he was hard. He would punk people all the time. He walked around with a blue rag in the back of his pocket and he played the part. And I had a girlfriend at that time. Back then, the little cholitas were the kind of ones I used to like, so don't get twisted. She had her little Ben Davis and Dickies and her bodysuit, and her lipstick was all like dark and eyeliner. And
Órale, mona. Think I'm in love with your sister.
Don't waste your time, Sleepy.
Whatever, you get the point. And this fool was always mean mugging. Okay, if y'all don't know what mean mugging is, it's a little testosterone thing that guys do. They're gonna test each other. They're gonna look at them a hard way and see if the other guy looks hard back. And if he looks hard back, what you looking at? Basically, it's a test of like, are you tough or you're not? A stupid test.
What's the matter with him? To rock it? Don't like it around here?
Cousins down for the hood, man.
This fool would always mean mug all the time. About kicking with my girlfriend, I didn't really care about these gangster fools, even though I was a little bit of a gangster deep down inside. You feel me?
Keep it gangsta, yeah, keep it gangsta. Keep it gangsta, yeah, keep it gangsta.
It's just over the whole year, like trying to punk me. So what am I looking at? Where you from? Bro, just leave me alone, dog. I'm just chilling. This guy would punk a whole lot of different people, but he had no idea who I was, what I did, where I was from, what I was capable of. So if you just see this little like athlete, little short guy, you're punking him every day and he's not saying nothing back. But this guy didn't know that I was a dedicated wrestler. I mean, I wasn't the best. I wasn't no state champion or nothing, but at this time when this crazy event happened, I had just placed 7th in Greco-Roman in the state of California, which is not a big deal. Okay, in the wrestling world, it's not that great, but it's, the real world skills, it's really good. This was before UFC. This was before any of that stuff. No one even knew about wrestling, grappling, and jiu-jitsu and all that. I mean, I had a Letterman's jacket that said wrestling. It had all like my championships and stuff on my Letterman's jacket, but obviously the gangster didn't pay attention.
Are you stupid or something?
This one sunny day at lunch or break, something like that, and he bumps into me purposely.
Look, guys. Why are you sweating me, man?
And it was just over 6 months of him just on me. I should have told somebody, but you know, it's the 90s. We didn't even coin the phrase bully. It wasn't even a thing. You're supposed to handle your own stuff. So he bumped into me and I'm like, dude, what's your problem? Boom, he took advantage of it. Right then there, he's like, little punk, meet me after school at the church. And I'm like, oh my God, this is such a movie.
You and me, we're gonna have a fight today after school.
I just came back from state championships that weekend. I'm gonna have to fight this guy. I'm gonna have to fight. All through school, I didn't pay attention to school the whole entire time because I was worried about this fight. Once lunch came, everybody already knew about it. Everybody was talking about it. We were standing on opposite sides of the quad. And this is before text messaging or social media or any of that. The word still spread, and I was done with my last period. People were waiting outside of my class, and everybody's like, are you going to the church? I guess. And everybody was waiting for me. Peer pressure to the max. I'm like, who picks to fight at a church anyways? I had a choice, okay? But I didn't have a choice. One of my friend Ian, he had a 1968 white Cougar. A Cougar, sorry, is a Cougar. That's what we used to roll in. He's like, I'll take you over there. I have no excuse. I have a ride to the church, and everybody's trying to pump me up like, hey, you can do this. You're gonna take him, bro. I had a crowd follow me to my boy's car. We get up to the church. I swear to goodness, it was like a freaking UFC fight.
Are you ready?
That goes in the files.
Are you ready? Let's get it on!
Rolling up into the car, people were on both sides, like crowds of people on both sides hitting the car. It was almost like my entrance song. This didn't go down. I'm like, great, dude. I get out my car and everybody's like, he's right over there, and had his shirt off, a tank top, he had a bandana on, ready to go gangster. I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna have to do this. Keep in mind, I'm a state caliber Greco-Roman wrestler. This guy's just a regular Joe Smo gangster. This thing happened so fast. I walk up, everybody's cheering and like, fight. Get him a body bag! Yeah! All right. All I seen was like the enemy. You seen the other guy. As soon as we made eye contact, we were probably like 15 yards away from each other. It was on. Sprinted towards each other. And the first thing he tries to do, we used to call it dipping each other. So he ran up on me and he tried to dip me. Now, from a strategic standpoint, you would think that, you know, he knows I'm a wrestler. He's just gonna try to stand up and box me. No, this fool tries to dip a wrestler.
Are you stupid or something?
So he goes up to dip me, to grab my legs. I snag his neck up into, like, say, picture his head right here. How do I describe this? I have his head inside my arm right here, and I have his other arm right here. I straight picked him up by his head and suplexed him on the concrete.
He writes every line, and I've seen him at work when that light goes on. And
boom, like head first, bad. Got on top of him. This is before ground and pound and all that stuff was coined. And I just start dip. And then all I remember saying is, what now? What now? Now keep in mind, guys, this is the wrong decision, so don't get twisted how I think now. This is when I was young and I didn't really think things out. What now? What now? I'm the little guy. I'm the smaller guy. I was about 112 pounds. This guy's bigger than me. He's a gangster.
Even if it looks frustrating to the crowd, he's got to use movement and kicks.
What now? What now? Picture that. It's not like Daniel picking on a little guy. I'm the little guy. He's the big guy.
It's too big. You don't even want to go over to the body.
What now? What now? It started getting so bad that my own friends were like, stop, Daniel, stop, Daniel. So we got separated, and he was like all bleeding from a cut on his head. His bandana was all bloody. It should have been over. And I was like, man, we done? Started walking up towards me again. I was like, this guy wants some more. He comes up to me, and he swings like this haymaker. Okay, so if you're not a wrestler, I do a duck under, and cut to the clip. So I do a duck under, and then I get from behind him, and then I put him in a rear naked choke. If you don't know what a rear naked choke is, cut to the clip.
And once you squeeze everything together, you flex your bicep, whoop, he's gonna tap.
And I'm just squeezing, like my life. And remember I told you he had that cut on the head? When he had that cut on his head, when I was squeezing his head, it was like a water gun where the blood was coming out of the cut. It's like, psst, psst, psst. All my friends got scared, and my friends tackled me and started choking me and pulled me off. Oh, it was like so fast. They said it only lasted probably about like 30 seconds, but for me it was like a lifetime. And I had to run out there because I didn't want the cops to. This was so stupid, guys, okay?
Are you stupid or something?
More and more problems started after that. What I'm saying is, I whooped his ASS so bad, you just fought a pre-Marine, if that makes any sense. Ah! From that day, he didn't mess with me at all. But it caused more problems, and me and my mom got jumped. That's for another day. Guess what I'm trying to say now that I'm older and I think about this story is, you should still just walk away. It's not worth it. Message! Because even after I beat the heck out of them, it caused more problems because they were always looking for me. They were always trying to fight. I could have got in big trouble. And the girl back in the day, you just duke it out. I don't know. I don't know what the point of this story. Story about David and Goliath, how this little skinny guy that was underestimated kicked the giant's butt, and that was me. Here's to overcoming giants. Here's to getting put up against the wall and having to fight yourself back. And here's to learning that fighting not the answer, guys, because it's only going to cause more problems. But it does make for a good story. Yeah.